Hi, everybody. This is Evolution JKD. I'm Sifu Joel Ledlow.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sifu Ian.
We're going to be looking at first generation people. This is really important. When you're looking at Jeet Kune, you want to find a good, solid lineage and then trace down from there. The closer you can get to that person, the closer you can get to Bruce Lee, the closer you're going to get to the essence of Jeet Kune. There are a lot of these people they've died and they're gone. And unfortunately, some of them have video and some of them don't. We've dug through a bunch of videos and there's still people we're missing. If you can find them yourself, hey, drop them in the comments because I'd love to see it. I love watching these guys move. There's a lot we can learn from just a quick little essence of watching this. Keep in mind that in some of these videos, they're not in their prime. They're later in their years, and they're still really, really exemplary as martial artists and people who are moving and sharing their knowledge with the world. And that's what we want to get into, is sharing knowledge with the world. But you got to come through lineage. If you're just making some stuff up, you're just making some stuff up. Let's jump into the first person. The first person is my teacher, Jerry Poteet. I trained with him from 2000 to 2010. First little bit was through seminars and workshops. And then in 2006, I became a private student with him, and I trained usually on Mondays for 4 years. So a lot of time shared together. I wish we'd done some videos of us. We just didn't. We were too busy yakking and moving and having a great time. So we're trying to help you out. We're going to do a lot of things to help educate you on how to find Jeet Kune Do and find what is effective and working. So
make sure that you guys like and subscribe. We've taken a lot of time to kind of compile a bunch of Jeet Kune Do information that's out there on the internet into a single video. So that way you guys can make all the observations of what's the same, what's different, and ultimately kind of help lead you on your path to whatever training regimen that you're on.
Here's Sifu moving through. He's doing Chi Sao. This is something you would work into. We spent a couple of years working on this. Building up through punches and kicks and all the trapping and the energy drills, and then ultimately getting into Chi Sao where you just playing. And gosh, I'm having a lot of memories with this. You'd have a hand in your throat and he'd have a grin on his face. Super fun for me.
Sifu, what are you seeing that maybe myself or other viewers might not be seeing while they move? I mean, I know that the quality is only so good, but there's a lot of intricate movements that are happening within their Chi Sao that, you know, there's all these moments that we don't even know what's going on.
I think one of the big ones, if you look at his right arm, he's just so slick and fast. He's controlling you the whole time. And you see his elbow. He used to tell me elbow up, elbow down, elbow up, elbow down. And I remember he would tell me this all the time. And then I remember looking at his elbow, and his elbow wasn't up very much, but the line was closed. He's very deceptive, and that's just refinement. You're going to see that with a lot of these guys. They've refined it so much over years that you think, oh, I can get through there, but you can't because the line's closed. I sure just do miss moving, and it was lots of fun. Lots of fun in there.
Good stuff. Let's move on to the next one.
So this is Ted Wong moving through, cross energy, inside, outside, just really moving through. And I don't see a lot of Ted's people doing this actually, but apparently he's really good at it and was demonstrating his skill and understanding. This is a drill, but look how tight he is. He's on top of him and he's coming back into it.
So Sifu, I've noticed that a lot of Ted Wong guys actually say that Bruce Lee threw out energy training.
I don't know, maybe he took it away from Ted and said don't do it, but with Sifu Jerry, it was absolutely core of it. That's where you came alive. That's where for that, and the energy drills and Chi Sao, that's where we really came alive. So difference in lineage of what you're looking at. I can't speak to what Ted Wong was saying, but for me, my training with Jerry Poteet, it was absolutely pivotal. It was a way to refine movement and understand how to manipulate.
How could you not train sensitivity?
Yeah, sensitivity and energy manipulation, that kinetic energy, both really, really important. Okay, Dan Inosanto, everybody should know him in the JKD world. He is very heavily into the Kali as well and has expanded a lot of Jeet Kune Do and his learning with Bruce Lee into the Kali world, into the sporting world, as he's here with Anderson Silva and working with him. Some differences in that and really sort of branching out and not keeping so much with the original teachings of Bruce Lee, but moving into it. But there's some great stuff in there because he's going with a hammer fist and a slap hand, and he had a really great saying once. He's like, don't punch a brick wall with a closed fist, use an open hand. It's some solid stuff. The guy is legend.
And something I noticed is that he's got a very traditional style of striking, more from the Western world as opposed to, the Eastern world, where he's hitting with the horizontal fist as opposed to the modification of hitting with a vertical fist.
Yeah, and I think that's just coming from some of the kickboxing stuff that he's worked with some really great people and moving through. Or it could be from the Kali. I haven't done Kali in long enough to remember. This is Larry Hartzell doing some trapping in here and coming through and moving in with all that. But he was actually known for doing a lot of grappling, and he had a grappling background, which I like a lot because I have a grappling background and moving through. And it speaks to the individuality of people who are going to take something and start with the core and then shoot off into something else. So Larry Hartzell, grappling, Danny Inosanto, more going in with Kali stuff. So pretty cool to see that again, watching people move through and see how they've interpreted information from Bruce Lee of moving through, whether it's footwork as you're seeing in here or the trapping hands and doing stuff in there. He's working with Dan. And then they go into some grappling. So some pretty cool stuff. Here's Steve Golden, another guy from Chinatown School, is actually one of my teacher, Jerry Petit's really, really good friends. In this video, he's actually talking about simplification. Just cut out all the moves. Don't think about what the moves are. Just hit them. I'm here. What do? I hit him. What do I do here? I hit him. What do I do here? I hit him. And then you're looking at efficiency from there. It's not right or wrong. You're looking at levels of efficiency. And for that, I really love it. And he's talking here. It doesn't matter if you're on a right lead. Doesn't matter if you're on a left lead. Great. You do this. Well, what happens when he switches leads? Well, you've got to learn something new. And he's like, don't. Just stop him and then move through to the next thing. And I love that. And it's some of these insights that the first generation people have, that's what you want to get. That's why the closer you can get, the closer you can get to it. Now, this demonstration doesn't get to knock somebody out. That's a big guy. You're going to have to hit that guy. So this is Taki Kimura, and what he's telling everybody right now here is he's saying don't expect too much because he's almost 90. Holy shit, he's almost 90. Like, that's amazing. This guy has been refining for a long time, and then you just have quality of life at 90 through Jeet Kune Do. That's an amazing thing, and still active and vibrant and moving. Crap, he moves better at 90 than a lot of so-called JKD people move at 25. So that's really amazing, and he's going to have a lot of insight, and just taking some of that stuff from him is pretty fantastic. And he's just moving through a little bit of trapping hands. Again, the responsiveness of this is pretty fantastic. Okay, here we are with Ed Hart, and he's moving through. And as I was talking about, we don't have a lot of this footage from these guys. I mean, this video is putting in pictures. That's how little we have of Ed Hart. So training with the people he trained with, and the same is true for all these guys, first generation people that train with Bruce Lee. And that's something else. If you didn't actually train with Bruce Lee, you're not first generation. There's a bit of confusion out there about some of that with some people. But yeah, like the guys who are actually moving with him, that's really important. James Demaio, really fantastic. He actually split off and did Wing Chun Do, taking that and back a little bit more to the Seattle with the Wing Chun aspects, but a lot of really great stuff. This is science being applied to his art. Reactions in there, really fantastic. Also, he was really outspoken about saying, bullshit to people saying they could kick Bruce's ass, that Bruce wasn't a fighter. This guy, all about fighting. Here we go. We're going to wrap things up with Jesse Glover. And this is a bunch of really great clips of him. So glad somebody got all this. Now, Jesse was at Seattle, very Wing Chun. He went into non-classical Kung Fu, but you could still see the heavy influence of his time training with Bruce Lee. Just slick moving through, coming back fist, bang, and then going down low, just kind of changing up different things. That guy's being a bit dramatic, but what I love about Jesse's really forward aggressive. His footwork is different than what I would do, that little hop thing, but man, is he in there. And just like James Demaio, these guys were bruisers. They were fighters, and it was about what worked. So wrapping things up, most of these people are like Bruce Lee. Unfortunately, they've passed on. They're no longer with us, and that knowledge that they carried with them is only found in their lineage with their instructors. And you want to find somebody in a true lineage who's trained with somebody who trained with Bruce Lee. So find somebody who's a second generation like me, or a third generation like Ian, or even a fourth. But there's still enough second and third generation people out there that if you're going for someone who's fourth or fifth, then honestly, they should be directly under the guidance of somebody a bit higher up. really look for the information. We want to get to that knowledge. We want to get to what they had, what was shared, what was learned. And to do so, we need to go find people at the sources.
And for this video in particular, use it as a resource. As you can see, all of these guys have similar movements, but also very different movements. So rather than make judgment calls and stuff, notice the difference and the nuances that you'll find in between in order to take those things or to search for those qualities that you might like within the instructors that you are trying to reach.
Ultimately, this is supposed to help you through Jeet Kune Do, because that's what we do. Through Jeet Kune Do, better yourself. So every time you're watching a video, how can you improve? Every time you're making a comment or asking a question, how is it going to improve you? Just being a keyboard cowboy and typing in a bunch of, negative stuff, did that really help you? Yeah, sometimes you might feel that way, but just hit the dislike button and go into something else and find something that's going to improve your martial path.
Thanks you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you guys like the video. If you guys have any JKD footage that you would like us to take a look at, leave it in the comments and let us know some other things that you might want to see.
Until next time.